What's poppin', y'all? This is Deidre with One Shot Game, man. You already know how the motto go. You get one shot at life, but a lifetime to learn all the game you need to help improve who you are. The choice is yours. Now, as I always say, you get two choices. The ability to settle in the life that has been faithfully designed for you, or the ability to create the life of your dreams by paving the road to your destiny. That choice is also up to you. So before I get into the title of my video, I want to say a big shout out to all my supporters. You guys are great, and even the ones behind the scenes, I see y'all too. So hey, look, the title of this video, I almost forgot for a second, I'm gonna just be real, is the fact that y'all have to realize the system has always never been designed to help individuals succeed. The system was designed to help and protect the system. So when you find a way to break out of the design of that system by removing the veil from your mind to be able to tap into who you are, you're gonna face challenges. You're gonna face, people who think opposite than you do strongly, just because they're still trapped into the system. The system is designed to control everybody within it. It's like, a very strong computer game. You get everybody zoned in and thinking that this is a certain way, that they won't ever take the time to step outside the box and figure out who they are. So when you get to a point in your life where you have broken out of the system to create your own individual identity, you're going to have roadblocks. You're going to have, malfunctions. You're going to have things that you're faced with. You're just going to have to figure out a way to know that as you're doing the work to figure out who you are, you'll have the solutions needed to be able to face those problems head on. And again, life is an experience. It's an adventure. So sometimes those solutions may not be what you thought they were going to be, but you got to think about it. If your mind has been trained to think a certain way, when you got to do something new, it may not be what you desire, so simply because you've been adjusted to one thing your whole life. You know what I'm saying? But the system has played a part on making sure it was designed to keep people in line, not because it was there to help people understand who they truly are, because once they do that, the systems will fail, because now not everybody is mass controlled to be able to fit in that box. You get what I'm saying? So listen, don't feel bad for getting a chance to know who you are either. It's nothing wrong with that. It's scary to people that have done everything they could to try to keep people controlled in one box. So when you finally have the ability to use your mind, and the strongest asset in it, to remove the veil of what you thought your life should be and discover who you truly are, they're going to get petrified. They're going to become afraid, because they know oftentimes those people have a way of being able to create a new system. And that breaks the molds and the confines of the old system, which kept everybody trapped. And those work for certain people. You know what I'm saying? So again, it's awkward, it's complicated, but it's not really, when you work on really trying to be yourself. There's nothing wrong with forming new systems. It's nothing wrong with, using your voice. It's nothing wrong with becoming who you're meant to be. It's just along the route, facing obstacles and battles is what makes you become stronger. They're not there to stop you. They're not there to point a picture as you're wrong. They're there to basically figure out if this is really what you want or not. Is this truly who you are or not? Is this really who you are? Because if not, then you know what I'm saying, that what you're on is not going to resurface. It's not going to go far. So never take it as anything personal when you're getting attacked and you feel like everything is being directed to you. It's not that. It's just the fact that there are people who are so used to and adjusted to the old system that they don't want it to change. And they know that who you are is going to switch the system, and they're going to have to be able to learn a system all over again. And again, it's like school. If you get into a grade and you don't really know what's being taught, you just pretend and act like you know what's going on, and then, you know what I'm saying, they pass you to the next grade, but you didn't even get what was in the other grade. So life school is exactly like that. They're going to have to go in and learn a new system when they've already mastered the skills to the one before that. And some people just don't like doing that. You know what I'm saying? It's too complicated for them to have to learn something new already. It's weird, but I mean, it's the reality. But think of how as humans we grow. When we learn how to accept growing, we grow in ourselves, you know? So listen, understand and know that if you're a person that, you know what I'm saying, have figured out how to go beyond the walls of what they've been using to control people, you're going to have to move and operate in a certain way. You can't be out here, you know, breaking rules and violating the law and all that, because they're going to make sure that they do everything to trap you in your mind and put you somewhere where you don't have the ability to do nothing. You know what I'm saying? And by the time you get out, you done missed your mark. So you never get to come into fruition what you wanted, and they do that intentionally on purpose, so you don't have a reason to create a new system. Every human has the ability to create a new system. It's just, are you willing to follow the guidelines and do it right to be able to create that new system, or are you too attached to worldly things that you're going to do whatever you can to try to keep up the status with those things? And oftentimes those lead to breaking the fundamental rules, which puts you in a position where now you're trapped inside the cage or somewhere they want you to be, so that you can't, you know, open everybody else up to learning how to break out of the system. You know what I'm saying? Nobody should be in lack. Nobody should be in poverty. It's too many resources. It's too much money. You know what I'm saying? It's just, if people are spending money on the wrong things, there are going to be people who get left out. You know what I'm saying? The system is designed to protect itself. And no person really is a victim to that. It's just their mental confines of their brain. So if you have the ability to think outside the box, whatever your physical life may look to you, don't get knocked off course by that. You know what I'm saying? Because maybe behind the scenes, the system could be adjusting, but it takes time. And just like, you know, new system has to be learned. When you're learning how to navigate life, you got to learn that too. And sometimes you may not be the best at it the first time. You might have to learn it again. You know what I'm saying? To be able to actually commit it to memory and understand it. And I think life is like that. Matter of fact, I know. You know what I'm saying? Life is learned like that, on a basis where oftentimes life school has to be repeated daily to people who have been, you know what I'm saying, convinced and mind controlled to believe that it was only this way. Now they have to take in a whole new learning system to become themselves, and sometimes it's extremely difficult, so they fight it. You know what I'm saying? I was never no straight A student in school. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes I would have to take lessons over and I still didn't get it, but I was committed to graduating. So I made sure that I did what I needed to do to learn it, to pass. You know what I'm saying? So listen, it's complicated, but it's just the way it is. So when you're on this journey of discovering who you are, always understand and know that the spiritual attacks are against your mind, not against what you're trying to do. Because if you're doing it correctly and you're not hurting anyone, you know what I'm saying, and you're exactly where you need to be in your life, and you know that, because you know that, there will be things that come up against you because you're changing the trajectory of the system they've already mastered and skilled, and that affects them in a way where they can't understand. So they automatically have to target the person or the thing that's creating a new system. Again, don't mean it's wrong. Doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong. It's just a battle between, you know what I'm saying, the system you were in and creating a one where, you know what I'm saying, you find out who you are and your own true identity. So never allow anyone to get you off course. It's work that's being done in between the scenes that is pulling you away from what you thought you knew to help you create who you are. And listen, people are going to challenge that, especially when people don't know who they are and they're still stuck in the system. They become envious of people that have made it out because they don't want to admit it, but the system they're in is crippling and hurting them. It's just their pride is too high to admit that. You know what I'm saying? So they automatically get envious and jealous of someone who was broken outside the box. You know what I'm saying? It's just what it is. But don't think what you're doing is wrong. They'll just try to stop you to make you think that's what it is. You got to think about, you know what I'm saying? Listen, Nipsey is a California love story. That's why I, you know what I'm saying, idolize him so much, because he basically took the mold and the identity of who he was, learned information about it, took his energy away from it, still owned it, and created a life for himself exactly where he was. I think that's why I'm so supportive in his mode and his method of how he chose to go about things. You know what I'm saying? He knew about gang culture. He knew about getting locked up. He knew about putting his energy in certain places. You know what I'm saying? But that still didn't take away from who he was. And I think that's, you know what I'm saying, dope, honestly. Again, you can't take away from who I am. You can't take away my experiences. You can't take away the life that I've learned and was in. You can't take that away from me. So that's why I don't hate on people that go through that. You know what I'm saying? I'm just me. But you have people that see it differently. You know what I'm saying? So again, creating your own identity for yourself is not a crime. It's not a punishment. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing you're doing that's against the law unless you choosing to think you above the law. That's totally different, but I'm not on that. You know what I'm saying? I'm just basically raising the bar by understanding for myself, like, you don't have to stay in that life. You can grow and be better than that if that's truly what you want. It just takes you having to fight the battle of learning what you need to learn to be able to achieve what you want by raising the bar energetically. And again, that comes with struggles and obstacles. If it didn't have that, you wouldn't be motivated to grow. You wouldn't stay hungry. You would get too comfortable and stop your mission. You know what I'm saying? So again, take those obstacles as speed bumps and roll over them and keep it going. You know what I'm saying? Because listen, I'm a monster. I don't know what it is, but hey, blame how I drive on my daddy. I'll be out here mobbing. You know what I'm saying? But listen, that's a whole different story for another time. But again, you know what I'm saying? Take every obstacle as a lesson. Don't take it as an L, take it as a W. But it depends on how you evaporate the lesson. Don't let it take over you. Just take what you need out of it that, you know, helped you get better, because oftentimes the lesson is learned in a way you've never experienced. That's why it's so challenging to your mind. But it's something you need to know to be able to elevate, you know? So take it, run with it, keep growing. You know what I'm saying? I like people that's different. I like people that have their own identity. I do not like when people just copy, because then it becomes weird. You really don't have no true identity for yourself, and that takes you stepping out a limb and figuring out who you are. And again, that comes with obstacles. But I like people that know how to face obstacles. I like people that have incurred certain situations and beat them by their mind control. That's going to attract me to you. That's what's going to make me like you. Not what you got going on, but how you have figured out how to use your brain to override certain obstacles in your life. You know what I'm saying? And who are you really? And how did you have that? Like, that's attractive to me. Oh, my mama. And I'm going to get to know a person until I figure that out. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes that takes peeling back the layers. That takes letting me in. And that's hard. I get it, especially because we grew up in toxic environments. But don't be afraid to let somebody in, you know what I'm saying, that really just want the best for you, you know, just like they want the best for themselves. But it takes you letting your guard down. And in order to do that, you have to figure out yourself. So again, that's what it's about these days. And however it may look to you, the struggle don't last forever. It only lasts as long as you want it to last by the thoughts you keep letting replay. Keep focusing on who you are. You know what I'm saying? Your mental strength is everything. I like to know how people solve problems. They probably don't want to tell everybody, but that's attractive to me. You know what I'm saying? I'm a different type of person. You know what I'm saying? So again, let's ride over them obstacles, baby, and figure out who you are. I like different people with similar soul stories. It's dope. So again, if you don't know what it is, I just told you. Please make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe.